I'm Maureen Walton. I have a PhD from UT, graduated in 2016, and ever since then I have been a research scientist at the US Geological Survey out in Santa Cruz, California. And I'm a marine geophysicist, so I study offshore fault systems, and we do coastal geohazard assessment out of my office. So yeah, that's what I've been doing ever since I graduated. The best career advice I received as a graduate student, I would say there's maybe a couple different things. I guess I mentioned, being encouraged to try out a lot of different things. So try out an internship, talk to some of the postdocs and see what their experience was like. And so I think that was definitely really encouraging, was to not be afraid to try out, industry, not be afraid to try out private sector or network with government, which is where I am now in the federal government. And yeah, I think I would just add to that maybe, getting advice from some of the postdocs that were kind of in my, working with the professors the same professors that I was working with was really helpful, because they just had a lot of really good early career insight, and advice on what to do and where to apply and things like that. So, and advice for how to stay in research, which is ultimately what I wanted to do. So anyway, that was really helpful. Getting a lot of experience talking to some of the early career folks that were around was really helpful. I typically, mostly have a desk job. I'm a geophysicist, so a lot of kind of geospatial analysis type stuff on the computer. So that's kind of day to day, but I would say, it's a really varied, day to day as far as the desk work goes. In a given day, I'll be managing projects, maybe like working with some contractors. There's times a year where we have to do a lot of field work planning. This is kind of one of those times. Hopefully we get to go out into the field this summer. I'll be looking at new data that's coming in, maybe processing or helping to process data. Obviously there's a lot of analysis of the data that happens. I would say the biggest part of my job is writing papers and reviewing papers. But lately I've also been doing some lab work. I've been working on, geological cores in the labs, so about once a week. So lots of computer work, but also lab work and field work too. I go out in the field typically between like 4 and 8 weeks per year, except in 2020. But usually we're out there on boats collecting data, for at least a few weeks every year, which is a lot of fun. From the PhD program to my current job, there's a lot of things. I'm basically doing a lot of the same things that I was doing in my PhD, because I stayed in research. So I'm not an academic researcher, I'm a government researcher, but a lot of the same thing, I'm literally doing kind of the same things as I was in grad school. I would say the main difference is now I'm kind of doing more project management than I was in grad school, where I was in grad school, I was doing a lot more technical things like processing data and honestly just kind of learning the different software, specialized software that I'm using now and things like that, learning how to code and whatnot. And so I'm still doing some of that, but I'm doing less of it now. So I would say, a lot of the same things, just kind of different distribution of what exactly that I'm doing.